I'm going to get started with the reading because it's actually a little bit longer of a reading, but I really like it. And this is from the Golden Present, so Daily Inspirational Readings by Swami Satchidananda. So this is June 15th. Day turns into night, night turns into day. Never be afraid of anything. A person with fear dies every minute. Remember that. Know that change is a part of nature. Things will always come and go, join and separate, make again and break again. Daily you see that. The sun rises and sets, day turns into night, night turns into day. Remember, even when there have been catastrophes, this world has still gone on and it still continues. How big is your world? Do you think it's a big world? If you compare your world to the entire cosmos, your world is not even equal to 1/100th of a mustard seed. Remember that. By the time I answer your question, do you know how many worlds like this will be reduced to pieces somewhere in the galaxy? Every minute, stars fall, planets are destroyed, and then rebuilt again. I remember someone once asked a scientist, how big is our world? How many galaxies are there in the whole cosmos? Do you know what he said? There's a big, beautiful, shaggy dog with long hair sitting nearby, and the scientist said, if you shave all of this dog's hair as close to the skin as possible, and then chop the hairs into tiny, tiny pieces, and count those pieces, you will have counted 1/100th of the total galaxies in the cosmos. Can you perceive that number? The mind cannot even begin to grasp it. So don't worry about these changes. Today you are happy and comfortable, and if you can do something to make someone else also happy and comfortable, do it. If you cannot do it, at least don't make others miserable. If you can make others happy, at least don't make them unhappy by thinking about catastrophes and this and that. Even if everything breaks up, you will remain. What is that you? The unbreakable one, the soul, your consciousness, which you call the self. That always remains because consciousness never changes. The consciousness is always there, but it expresses itself in various ways, using various forms, being called by various names. So as the self, you are immortal. Don't be afraid of anything. You are eternal. Oh, well, that might be a lot to wake up to for the morning, but there's a lot there that I could dive into, but I think some of what I appreciate is always this ability to dance around our understanding with the ego self or the limited self or the survival self and the expansive, unlimited, and what he calls here, I like this word, the unbreakable self. And this is the part of us that's connected with a higher consciousness that's maybe sometimes hard to grasp, because I think we can get so fixed on only accepting what we can see, touch, smell, hear, taste. We get really caught up with the sensory experience. It's so satisfying on so many levels. It's so gratifying on so many levels that it can engage us for our entire life. And that can be our whole quest, is that we just want to feel ourselves expressing as a sensory being in the world, engaging with ourselves and others, with things and others. But the proposition here is to recognize what a small component we are of this greater picture, and that when we can maybe sit in that as a meditation, our interest in what we're doing in our small self's experience might become less of a pull, and there might be more of a pull towards thinking of others and being in this universe as a co-creator. What happens with our neighbors? What happens with our fellows? And like you said, if we're comfortable and we're in a space that we're okay, great. So can we then maybe help those who aren't, for those who are struggling? And it's just this idea, If we sometimes can take a moment and think about all this just passes, all this stuff that we think and we cling to. You can even think in your own life, like when we were in high school, oh my God, things were so important, and then that drops away. In college, so important, and then it drops away. Maybe our careers, our professions. I just learned about Tom, who retired in January. We hold on to our careers as our identity, and then that drops away. We have to keep asking ourselves, well, who am I? If all this stuff keeps changing and dropping away, and yet at some moments in time I clung to them as to who I am, what an interesting thing we have as an experience on this planet. And I think we do. I know when I left dancing and I retired as a dancer, I had to ask myself, it was actually a really painful question. It's like, wow, if I drop that away, who am I? But I will say it was probably one of the most profound, transformative experiences, almost to the point it was worth it to have this amazing career, to then drop it, and then to, move on and understand myself differently. So I welcome all the flow of that, that happens. And I think we wrestle with it until at some point there's a landing of peace inside of us. There's we're in a flow of being of service, or in a flow of, what feels like our right livelihood. So let your eyes close. Just welcome yourself to wherever you are with that. If there's a part of you that's clinging to thoughts and ideas, if there's a part of you that's easily dropping even the words, be with that. Allow the face muscles to relax. Feel this bright energy also moving through the body to keep you sitting upright. This ever-present light within. Simultaneously grounding, feeling the connection to earth. And from this place, let's move right into our 3 ohms. Take an inhale. Oh.